The Obama administration announced some tough new limits on the amount of carbon pollution that can be generated by newly built U.S. power plants. Those rules took a big toll on shares of coal stocks today, one of the biggest sources of carbon emissions. Take a look at Alpha Natural Resources, down 6%, Arch Coal falling 5%, really losses all the way across the sector. Hampton Pearson now takes a closer look at these new climate change requirements and why some energy producers see this as a White House war on coal.
Power plants account for about a third of all greenhouse gas emissions. Over the next 12 months, the Environmental Protection Agency wants to mandate new rules using cutting-edge technology to dramatically reduce carbon dioxide emissions from new power plants. In a speech at the National Press Club, EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy says the emission standards can be achieved with homegrown technologies.
We are very confident that the carbon pollution standards we are proposing today for new power plants are both flexible and achievable. They pave a path forward for the next generation of power plants in this country.
The EPA goal is to cap carbon dioxide emissions at 1,100 pounds of CO2 per megawatt hour of power produced. That's about 40% less on average than at existing coal-fired plants. The utility industry says that standard can't be met without costly technology to capture and store carbon emissions.
They are trying to make standards based on highly speculative technology that would not even be applicable for the great majority of power plants in the U.S. today.
This coal-fired power plant in Kemper County, Mississippi, due to go online next May, could be the first one worldwide to use carbon capture and storage technology. Cost overruns have pushed the price tag to $4.7 billion, nearly $2 billion more than original projections. It's also been approved for $270 million in Energy Department grants and millions more in tax credits.
You can't look at the results of one plant, which is only 70–75% done, and apply that to an entire industry.
Environmental groups, however, say the EPA standard will create demand for that new technology. A more likely scenario, lawsuits from the utility industry over the new EPA proposed rule, as well as guidelines in the works for existing power plants a year from now. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Hampton Pearson in Washington.